let's get right into it. Today, we're diving into a true medical mystery. We're tracking down something known as the silent thief, a condition that affects millions of people all over the world, and it operates completely in the shadows.
In fact, doctors have a very specific and, let's be honest, kind of chilling name for it: the silent thief of sight. You see, this condition, it doesn't announce itself. There are no alarms, no flashing red lights, no sudden aches and pains. It just sneaks in, completely undetected, until it's way too late to reverse the damage.
Okay, let's really dive into this. What exactly is this microscopic thief? What's out there stealing the vision of literally millions of people without them even realizing it's happening? Well, to figure this out, we've got to do a little investigative work. We need to head straight to the scene of the crime to understand how things are actually supposed to work under normal, healthy conditions.
So, welcome to the scene. We're looking at the delicate, incredibly complex inner workings of the human eye. Now, we usually think of our eyes as, organic cameras just taking in light. But functionally, it's actually a lot more accurate to think of your eye as a tiny, super efficient, self-regulating plumbing system. And just like the plumbing in your house, the whole shebang relies entirely on a really delicate balance of fluid and pressure.
Inside this brilliant little system, your eye is constantly producing this clear fluid. It's called the aqueous humor. Its entire job is to flow into the eye, nourish all those internal structures, and then continuously drain right back out. It's a beautifully balanced cycle. Fluid goes in, fluid goes out. It keeps the eye healthy, nourished, and most importantly, perfectly pressurized.
But what happens when that fluid needs to leave? Well, it naturally exits through this microscopic drain called the trabecular meshwork. You can basically think of this as the main outflow pipe for your eye. As long as this tiny drain stays clear and open, the aqueous humor flows out smoothly and everything is totally fine. But here is where our mystery really begins. What happens when this absolutely crucial drain breaks down and gets blocked?
It happens in a very specific and honestly pretty devastating sequence. Step 1, that microscopic drain gets blocked. Step 2, your eye doesn't know to stop, so it keeps producing fluid and it just starts building up inside. Step 3, with absolutely nowhere to go, that internal pressure starts to climb. And finally, step 4, this rising pressure actually pushes back against the optic nerve. It starts crushing and damaging the vital cable that connects your eye directly to your brain. This whole chain reaction, that is glaucoma. It's one of the leading causes of irreversible blindness worldwide.
Now, it's important to note that not all glaucoma acts the exact same way. Let's bring in culprit number 1, the silent thief itself. Medically, this is known as primary open-angle glaucoma.
And we really need to pause on this staggering number, 90%. Primary open-angle glaucoma makes up roughly 90% of all glaucoma cases. So if you or someone you love has been diagnosed with this condition, it is overwhelmingly likely to be this specific, stealthy variant. It's an incredibly slow-moving condition. It relies entirely on playing the long game.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how this particular thief operates. Think of a clogged kitchen sink. In open-angle glaucoma, the primary drainage angle of the eye actually stays open. Like on the surface, everything looks completely fine. But the internal meshwork is getting clogged up very, very slowly over time. It's exactly like a bathroom sink that's just slowly filling up with hair. The fluid is still draining, but far too sluggishly, which causes that internal pressure to build up incredibly gradually.
And because this pressure is building at such a snail's pace, it's completely painless. I mean, there are absolutely zero early warning signs. You don't feel a thing. Instead, people just slowly, quietly start losing their peripheral or side vision without even noticing it's gone. By the time someone actually realizes, hey, my vision is kind of narrowing into a tunnel, significant, permanent damage to the optic nerve has already been done. That is exactly how the thief gets away with it.
But if culprit 1 is our slow, stealthy thief, culprit 2 is more like a sudden, violent attacker. This is angle closure glaucoma. The mechanics here are completely different. It's much faster and, honestly, incredibly dangerous. So rather than a slowly clogging sink, angle closure glaucoma acts exactly like a rubber stopper. In this version, the iris, the colored part of your eye, actually bulges forward. And when it does this, it physically blocks the drainage angle completely. It doesn't just slow the drain down, it snaps it shut. Boom, entirely blocked. The fluid has absolutely zero way to escape. And when that drainage angle closes off completely, we get a rapid pressure spike. Make no mistake, this is a severe medical emergency. Because remember, the eye is still actively pumping fluid into what is now a completely sealed off space. So the internal pressure doesn't just creep up, it skyrockets. We're talking in a matter of hours or even minutes.
This requires immediate medical intervention to save the optic nerve from total destruction.
Now, unlike our silent thief, this sudden attacker sets off massive alarms. The warning signs are severe and, frankly, impossible to ignore. We're talking extreme eye pain, throbbing headaches, intense nausea or vomiting, blurry vision with these weird glowing halos around lights, and a visibly red eye. If you or anyone you know ever experiences this combination, you need to get to an emergency room immediately. No waiting around.
Okay, so we know how they operate individually. Let's bring both of our suspects into the lineup and do a quick side-by-side comparison of their tactics.
Now, what's really interesting about looking at these two starkly contrasting variants side by side is just how different they are. Open angle is our main offender, making up about 90% of cases, while angle closure is way less common. Look at the onset. Open angle is slow, silent, gradual. Angle closure, a sudden, acute spike. And the symptoms are night and day. Open angle gives you zero pain and quietly steals your peripheral vision. Angle closure hits you like a truck with severe pain, redness, halos, and nausea. One is a chronic condition you manage over time. The other is literally an immediate, get to the hospital medical emergency.
All right, we've investigated the crime. We know who the culprits are. Now let's shift gears and focus on the solution. How do we actually stop these thieves and protect our vision?
Well, here is the really great news. If caught early enough, glaucoma can usually be successfully managed to protect your sight. We have some fantastic options available today. This can be as simple as daily prescription eye drops that just help lower that internal pressure. There's also highly effective laser therapy, or sometimes minor surgery to essentially, create a new drain or fix the broken one. But, and this is absolutely crucial, the key word here is early. We have to catch it before the optic nerve is permanently compromised.
And that brings us to your absolute best defense: routine eye exams. Remember, 90% of these cases are open angle. Zero early symptoms, none. You simply cannot wait until your vision feels a little off. By then, the thief has already taken it and you can't get it back. A quick, totally painless pressure check at your eye doctor is literally the only way to catch this silent thief in the act. They can measure that pressure and stop the damage before it even begins. So that leaves us with one final, really crucial question for you to think about today. When was the exact last time you had your eye pressure checked? If you're scratching your head right